Welcome back to our channel. One dime, one secret. Like and subscribe for shocking coin values and hidden treasures. The 1983 one-dime coin might appear to be just another regular coin at first glance, but for those with an eye for numismatics, it holds a fascinating secret. Coins from this era, specifically the 1983 dimes, are far from ordinary. They've become highly sought-after treasures, prized by collectors and investors alike, due to the rare minting errors they sometimes feature. What seems like a simple, everyday coin could actually be a significant asset worth tens of thousands of dollars, depending on its unique features. Let's take a deeper dive into the 1983 dime, its background, how errors play a role, and how a coin that looks ordinary can be worth a small fortune. The 1983 dime is part of the ongoing production of coins during the presidency of Ronald Reagan. This era, like many others in American history, saw standard mintage of coins, with the Roosevelt dime remaining a staple of U.S. currency. Featuring a design by John R. Sinek, the obverse of the coin displays the likeness of Franklin D. Roosevelt, while the reverse showcases the familiar image of a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of peace and strength. At first glance, the 1983 dime would seem like any other modern coin, minted with the same quality and consistency as any other. However, as collectors began to scrutinize the coins minted during this period, certain characteristics emerged that made some dimes worth far more than their face value of 10 cents. The minting process, which is usually precise, occasionally produces errors. These small mistakes can make a dime from 1983 worth much more than its intended value. What sets the 1983 dime apart from other coins of its time are the errors and variations that occurred during the minting process. These errors, while relatively rare, can increase a coin's value exponentially, especially in the case of the 1983 dime. Collectors and numismatists spend years searching through coin rolls and boxes in hopes of finding these hidden gems, which can be worth far more than the average coin. One of the most common errors found in 1983 dimes is the off-center strike. This occurs when the planchet, the blank metal piece before it's struck with the coin's design, isn't properly aligned with the dies during the minting process. The result is a coin where part of the design is missing, or the coin itself is struck at an angle, leading to an uneven and incomplete image. In the case of the 1983 dime, this off-center strike can be noticeable, especially when a portion of the coin's design, such as Roosevelt's face or part of the reverse symbols, is cut off. The rarity of off-center strikes, particularly when they are dramatic, increases the value of the coin significantly. Depending on the severity of the error, these coins can fetch prices in the range of $62,000 to $122,000, especially when they are in high-grade condition. The most desirable off-center errors are those that show a clear portion of the design missing, creating a dramatic effect. These coins stand out in any collection, and their unique appearance draws the attention of serious collectors looking for that perfect piece to complete their sets. Another variation of the 1983 dime that collectors look for is the double die error. This error happens when the coin is struck more than once by the die, causing the image to be doubled. This doubling can be seen in various parts of the coin, such as the lettering of Liberty or In God We Trust. It is especially noticeable on the obverse of the coin, where Franklin D. Roosevelt's portrait and inscriptions are present. Double die errors are considered to be a significant find in the world of numismatics. While the 1983 dime may not have as many high-profile double die varieties as some other coins from different years, it still holds potential value for those willing to search for the right coin. Double die coins are prized for their rarity, and a well-preserved example of a 1983 dime with this error could easily fetch anywhere between $62,000 and $122,000, depending on the clarity of the doubling and the overall condition of the coin. One of the most exciting and rarest errors in the coin world is the wrong planchet error. This occurs when a coin is struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination. For example, a dime could accidentally be struck on a blank mint for a penny or even a quarter. The resulting coin would then show up with the incorrect metal composition, making it a unique and highly valuable collector's item. Imagine finding a 1983 dime that was mistakenly struck on a penny planchet. These coins can have an odd appearance, with a thinner or lighter weight than normal dimes, and are highly prized by error coin collectors. Finding one of these coins would be an incredible discovery, and their value can easily soar into the $62,000 to $122,000 range, depending on the rarity of the error and the coin's condition. Beyond the major errors mentioned above, there are also lesser-known variations of the 1983 dime that can increase its value. These include die cracks, where the die itself has a crack, causing a line to appear on the coin; die clashes, where the coin's design from one die is accidentally transferred to another; and cap die errors, where a piece of metal builds up on the die and is then pressed into the coin, creating a distortion. While these errors are less common, they can still contribute to a higher value for the coin. In some cases, these types of errors can push the value of a 1983 dime to the $62,000 to $122,000 range, depending on how dramatic the error is. For collectors, finding a rare and valuable coin like the 1983 dime with an error is often a matter of patience, persistence, and luck. Many collectors spend years going through coin rolls, attending coin shows, and browsing through online auctions to find these special items. Coin dealers who specialize in error coins also play an essential role in helping collectors find rare pieces. When an error coin is discovered, the excitement and anticipation build as the coin is examined and its value is determined. Auction houses are often the final destination for these valuable coins, where bidding wars can escalate quickly. In many cases, 1983 dimes with significant errors or rare varieties can be sold for $62,000 to $122,000 at auction, depending on the buyer's interest and the coin's rarity. As more and more collectors discover the potential of error coins, like the 1983 dime, their value is likely to continue rising. The market for rare and unique coins is ever evolving, and as new generations of collectors come into the fold, coins that were once overlooked or undervalued will only gain more attention. For those who are just starting their coin collection journey, the 1983 dime is a perfect example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can turn into something extraordinary with the right error or feature. Its significance lies not only in its rarity, but also in its ability to connect collectors to the intricate and fascinating world of minting errors, making it an exciting investment for the future. In conclusion, the 1983 one-dime coin is a prime example of how even the most unassuming coins can carry hidden treasures. With errors ranging from off-center strikes to double die varieties and wrong planchet issues, these coins can fetch anywhere from $62,000 to $122,000 in today's market. For collectors, finding a rare error in this coin could be the discovery of a lifetime, and for those looking to sell, these coins offer an opportunity to make a significant profit. The allure of the 1983 one-dime lies not just in its rarity, but in the ongoing hunt for these coins, making it a cherished item in the world of numismatics. The year was 2004, a time when the United States Mint continued its long-standing tradition of producing billions of coins for commerce. Among them, the Roosevelt dime quietly continued its journey through the hands of millions, small enough to be forgotten in pockets, purses, and drawers across the country. And yet, hidden within the masses of these commonplace coins lies a rare phenomenon that has turned a simple 2004 dime into a small fortune for a handful of lucky individuals. What makes a 10-cent piece from that year worth tens of thousands of dollars? The answer rests in a small number of them bearing elusive minting errors and extraordinary conditions that make them incredibly desirable among collectors. These dimes might seem indistinguishable at first glance, but those with a trained eye or the patience to hunt through coin rolls know the goldmine that could be concealed in the simplest of change. The Roosevelt dime has remained a constant in American currency since its introduction in 1946, and the 2004 version maintained the standard design, with Roosevelt's left-facing portrait on the obverse and the symbolic torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse. But in some cases, the perfection intended by the mint was disrupted by machinery hiccups, rushed procedures, or misaligned dies, resulting in coins that diverge just enough to be noticed, cherished, and valued. In the case of the 2004 Roosevelt dime, several distinct error types have been identified that transform this otherwise regular coin into a highly valuable collector's item. One of the most sought-after issues involves the coin being struck off-center. This can happen when the blank planchet used for striking the coin is not correctly seated in the coin press, causing the dies to strike only part of the design onto the coin surface. Depending on how far off-center the strike is, and how much of the design is missing, the coin's value can escalate dramatically. If the date is still visible along with a significant portion of the missed strike, it can become especially appealing to error coin enthusiasts. Another coveted error is the double strike, where the coin is struck twice by the dies. This can cause overlapping images, a ghost-like effect, or shadowy duplications of Roosevelt's profile, lettering, or the reverse design. The precision of these errors, how well they are preserved, and how clearly they demonstrate their uniqueness, has a direct impact on their market value. Combine that with a coin graded in superb condition, especially by trusted authorities like PCGS or NGC, and the worth of that little 10-cent coin climbs to impressive heights. In the middle of all this, some examples of the 2004 Roosevelt dime with such errors have sold for between $50,000 to $104,000, depending on the rarity of the error and the pristine condition of the coin itself. This is not just a matter of simple demand, it's a reflection of how errors turn into collectibles, how uniqueness commands attention, and how a minor mechanical mistake can evolve into a numismatic masterpiece. Auction results and private sales both have confirmed that certain examples, especially those encapsulated and authenticated as mint errors, have fetched figures that would be unthinkable for anyone casually tossing a dime into a vending machine. Among the less visible but equally intriguing anomalies are the broad strike errors, where the collar that normally shapes the coin's edges fails to function, allowing the metal to spread out during striking. This results in a coin that is wider than usual, sometimes with smooth, missing rims and a warped appearance. Such a dime from 2004, though rarely found, would immediately stand out if examined closely. There have even been reports of 2004 Roosevelt dimes mistakenly struck on foreign planchets or blanks meant for other denominations. These extremely rare occurrences are the holy grail of mint error collecting. Sometimes, these coins are lighter in weight or reveal a different coloration, instantly setting them apart. Any such discovery typically goes straight into professional hands for grading, authentication, and auction placement. The collectors who pursue these coins do not do so casually. They are specialists, passionate about errors, variations, and the stories they tell. The 2004 dime, when falling into their hands and meeting all the conditions of rarity and error, becomes not just a coin, but a museum-worthy item. And yet, what makes these coins most intriguing is the possibility that they still exist in circulation. The 2004 dime was minted in large numbers, both in Philadelphia and Denver. While most of them entered the economic bloodstream and continue to do their quiet work of commerce, the small number of flawed yet perfect coins might still be out there, nestled in jars, inside cash registers, or tucked away in forgotten coin collections. That sense of possibility drives the world of coin hunting, a humble hobby to some, a serious investment to others. There are stories of people who unknowingly carried a fortune in their pockets, only to discover years later that their coin had become a collector's dream. These are not just tales of luck but proof that sometimes rarity hides in plain sight. What elevates the 2004 dime further is the growing interest in error coins and modern rarities in general. Numismatics is no longer limited to ancient coins or gold doubloons. It now includes the oddities and missteps of modern minting. As more collectors enter the field, and as the market continues to appreciate the value of unique error coins, the price of dimes, like those from 2004, is only expected to rise. The story of the 2004 one-dime coin is not about grandeur in appearance, but significance in deviation. A subtle misalignment, a minor doubling, or an unexpected surface can transform a 10-cent piece into a conversation starter, an auction headliner, and in some cases, a life-changing windfall. This coin represents more than currency. It represents a hidden story of machinery, human oversight, chance, and discovery. For anyone with a 2004 dime in their possession, a magnifying glass and a moment of curiosity might be all it takes to unveil something extraordinary. Because in the world of numismatics, even the smallest error can become an unmatched treasure. It began the way many stories of hidden treasure do, not in a vault or buried chest, but in the simplicity of everyday life. Somewhere in the late 1990s, a dime was minted at one of the bustling facilities of the United States Mint. Tens of millions of Roosevelt dimes were pressed into being in 1999, each carrying the familiar profile of the 32nd President of the United States. They slid along conveyor belts, clinked into massive containers, and were swiftly shipped across the country. Most were destined for cash registers, vending machines, pockets, and jars. But among them, a few carried something unintended, something invisible to the hurried glance of a cashier or the distracted hand of a commuter. These few possessed the quirks, anomalies, and errors that coin collectors consider priceless. Unlike famous gold coins or commemoratives with elaborate designs, the Roosevelt dime holds its value not through ostentation but through subtlety. Its design has changed very little since 1946, and that constancy is exactly what allows the rare mistakes to stand out. The 1999 dime continued this tradition: clean profile, dignified script, and the iconic torch flanked by olive and oak branches. But it's in the mechanics of minting, the precise strike, the alignment of dies, the material used, that the story of the 1999 dime begins to transform from ordinary to exceptional. Several dimes from that year have emerged over time that diverge just enough from their peers to catch the eye of numismatic experts. What makes these particular coins stand out isn't a flashy difference, but the presence of errors, some off-center strikes, some with doubled dies, others even on the wrong metal planchets, each pushing the limits of mechanical precision. Collectors often cite the allure of the unknown as a driving force. And it is precisely this that fuels the obsession with the 1999 Roosevelt dime. A coin that might otherwise go unnoticed in a handful of change can, under the right conditions, become a rare specimen worth examining under magnification. Coins discovered with mint errors from this year, especially those certified by trusted grading agencies in top-tier condition, have sold at eye-widening amounts. In some cases, a seemingly average 1999 dime has fetched between $50,000 to $110,000, all thanks to a minting anomaly that transformed it from currency into a collector's crown jewel. To understand how such a leap in value is possible, consider the environment in which these errors are born. The minting process at the U.S. Mint is designed for mass production, speed, and precision. But machines, like humans, have their moments of imperfection. A die might shift slightly, causing a doubled image on one side of the coin. A planchet meant for a penny might accidentally be used for a dime. The collar that keeps the coin's edges in place might slip, resulting in a broad strike error. Or, perhaps most visually dramatic of all, the blank planchet might be misaligned in the press, causing a visible off-center strike that leaves part of the design missing. Each of these errors is rare on its own, but when found in combination with a well-preserved surface, sharp details, and an attractive luster, their desirability skyrockets. There are stories of such dimes appearing unexpectedly. One collector found his treasure while searching through a bankroll of dimes, a routine search that suddenly turned exceptional. Another bought a handful of coins from a flea market dealer, only to later learn that one was a mint error dime from 1999, with clear doubling on the date and inscriptions. The value of these discoveries is amplified by their condition. The highest prices are reserved for coins graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, with mint errors authenticated and encapsulated. Even a slight difference in grade or clarity of the error can swing the value by thousands of dollars. In such a precise hobby, every detail matters. The beauty of the 1999 Roosevelt dime lies not only in its potential for hidden value, but in the idea that extraordinary things often come in unassuming packages. While most rare coins are instantly recognizable by their age or metal content, this dime earns its prestige through nuance. The hobby of coin collecting has shifted over the decades, welcoming more focus on modern errors and undervalued rarities. Dimes like these, from a recent era and still potentially in circulation, attract both seasoned collectors and hopeful newcomers alike. They are reminders that history is still being made, one coin at a time, and that treasure hunts don't always require a map, just a keen eye and a bit of curiosity. So as you glance at the coins left in your car's cup holder or the change handed to you at a corner store, consider the possibility that one of them might be more than just 10 cents. It might be a window into the meticulous, fast-paced, and occasionally imperfect world of the U.S. Mint. It might be a snapshot of 1999, an unintentional masterpiece born in a moment of mechanical misfire. And just maybe, it might be worth a small fortune to the right collector, waiting patiently in the shadows of numismatic forums and auction houses, ready to turn your pocket change into legend.